Hello and welcome to Fishing on Northwest. Wayne and Tommy Donlin. What do you think, Tommy?
It's the best. There you go.
I was not going to drink my
buddy's homemade wine, living Northwest wild. Hunting, fishing is my kind of style. I float the Wainuchi when it gets hot. I'm proud of all the things that I've got.
Hello and welcome to Fish on Northwest, Wayne England, and guest for today's program, Cady.
Yeah.
First time to the place. First time to the studio.
Place, yeah.
Yeah. Nice to have you here.
Thanks.
We had plans. We had Herzog coming in as co-host duties. You were coming on board as a guest. We had some great content lined up to speak of. Bill didn't make it.
Nope.
So I have to defer co-host duties to you. So you are quasi co-host and guest. Herzog. I mean, let's get right into it. So he kind of qualifies for our peak outdoor moment of the week. I don't have video for that, to say the least, but on his drive over, landslide, boulders coming down the mountain on the pass, barely escaped, a serious hazard, ripped the oil pan right out from under his Jeep. Yeah, he called me. He's like, yeah, I don't have an oil pan. So he's okay. Jeep, not so much. He was towed back to Yakima, and therefore he is not here, and Cady is. So great show lined up. So glad all of you could join us. Lots to talk about as we are in the midst of a pretty good steelhead season, buddy.
Yeah, starting out pretty solid. We started early.
Yeah.
Lots of fish early.
Yeah.
And just kind of trickling along.
Yeah. And nice to be back in the backyard, so to speak.
Yeah. So
where you're fishing, right?
So
3 years off, and now here we are.
Yeah.
Boy, conditions as of late, though, gin clear, low, almost summer conditions in levels in clarity, obviously much colder water temps.
Yep.
Are you one of the, look, you're guiding, some of the rivers been pretty busy. I think we talked a couple weeks ago, and you said that DFW did a flyover one of the tributaries, Grays Harbor, 140, 150 drift boats.
Yeah. Like record numbers. Something I've never seen before.
If we're in the 150 range on this small tributary out of Grays Harbor on a given day, that's crowded.
Yeah.
That's crowded. So as a guide, are you hey, we got to get on the water early, even if it's 25 degrees and push down? Are we racing boats, or are we waiting until 10 o'clock when the sun gets on the water and those fish actually start getting active?
A little bit of both. You got to be
strategy.
100% strategy. You got to be very flexible.
Yeah.
As far as if you show up to that ramp and there's a whole pile of boats there, and you know that half of them or 5 or 6 or 10 of them are gone in the dark, playing the go down by spotlight game that we all hate so much.
I won't do it.
Then you gotta, change. You do something else.
Your morning plan is either are you chasing boats, racing boats, or are you batting cleanup? I mean, or are you going to a different put-in, takeout, fishing lower, higher in the system, getting away from people? Yeah,
just trying to get away from people. I mean, usually I'll have that plan. Sometimes I'll change it, and then sometimes I'll do that same float like you're saying. Yeah, bat cleanup, but in those low and clear conditions, it can be very, very difficult, and you really got to commit to it. It turns into like not just be the 9 to 5 guide, get out of the box of the average, trip and fish till dark, and make sure you're hours behind those fish or behind those previous boats. Yeah, so that you can get water that's been settled down for a bit, right? And not just they're just berated, just an onslaught of stuff passing through their face. So, and it's that has proven itself multiple times on these rivers be worst case scenario. Right now, where we are at, the water dropped down to gin low and clear, and I'm not telling you anything that you wouldn't know, but obviously for the viewers, and that amount of pressure, it's like it's a roll of the dice, man. You're either going to be in the boat race game, or you're going to slow down, take a pause, and bat cleanup, because you have confidence, right? Yeah, you have confidence. You have confidence stuff you're doing, and you only get stressed out when you get in the boat race. That is true. You get so stressed, your level goes way up there. I got to keep going. I can't let those number of boats get in front of me. If you know the water, you know where they should be at. Yeah, but Yeah,
One thing holds true: boats that are racing are passing up fish,
a lot,
right?
a lot of fish.
And Herzog and I talk about it endlessly. It's like, just slow down, enjoy the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, work the water, run plugs where it's conducive to do so, run the small jigs. And that's why we got you here. Jared Cady, Get 'em Dry Fishing Company, is here for the duration. And we got a lot of steelhead to talk about. We're going to do a bait lab later on, talk some jigs. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that. Let's run down the show. Jared Cady is here. We'll discuss selective gear rule disregard, little thing I made a mental note of last time we spoke, my friend. And a reminder of our presence at the Washington Sportsmen show. Got to spool you up on that. Also, GlowTube. Did a little in-depth look last week, but didn't quite get it all in. We'll show you exactly what this tube can do with a little video program we put together. And then, of course, Jared is here, as I mentioned. Get 'em Dry Fishing Company. With me in the bait lab, we're talking jigs, buddy, and we're going to break it down, color selections and reasons why. I'm going to get into all of that. And then I want to have a little conversation with you, Jared. Life as a guide. What is the reality in today's fisheries? Because it can be complicated and a bit of a challenge. And then we have the Burnewiin system. Not sure what it is. Well, we're going to show you a simple DIY on the install for the Allied Mustang 23 HT. And why you should take a look at this and put it on your boat. We got all that going on and more, so don't go anywhere. Jumping out for a quick break. We'll be back. More content with Jared Cady right after this. Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
I make my living catching fish, not only as a tournament angler, but as a guide as well. Catching fish is important, and Gamakatsu hooks for me, you know, they kind of help take the luck out of fishing a little bit just because they're a high quality hook. Obviously have a really good reputation for being very strong and very sharp. Gamakatsu, I use their products every day in the boat, and, you know, big part of my success.
All right, welcome back here to the program. Jared Cady, Get 'em Dry Fishing Company, in the studio with me for today's program. Jared, we had a conversation not too long ago, and a few things that you had said stuck with me. One of them, as we mentioned in the opener, was the number of boats out there, for one. The other side of that is blatant disregard. Okay, here's a little public service announcement. No bait and scent means no bait and scent.
Yeah.
And I think you had told me, and a couple other folks had actually called me and said too, hey, DFW is writing a onslaught of citations for a number of boats, mostly on the lower river. Every boat they stopped almost ended up getting issued a citation for either barbed hooks and/or folks just choosing to run bait because they try to act like they didn't know. But the fact is, some of them didn't know, and they're like, we just didn't think anybody would be out here enforcing.
We figured we could get away with it.
We figured we'd get away with it.
Yeah.
My problem with that is showing blatant disregard for the rules of engagement when we've been given back a fishery. Makes it really hard for DFW to go back to the table with co-managers and say, hey, we want to fish next year. The numbers look conducive to do so. And they're like, yeah, not with your behavior.
Right.
Is that something that even is discussed out there amongst like guides, or anybody care? Or
I mean, we care. We absolutely care. We're playing. Majority of guides are playing by the rules.
Absolutely.
And it just hurts when you're trying to play by the rules, and then you see a guy blatantly in the open, not caring at all, and when it's been closed for so long.
Yeah, after 3 years of closures, we finally get numbers back that allow us to be on the water, and then we're just kind of just doing what we want and not following the rules. And DFW is writing all these citations. And my concern on that is, we know how hard it's been. Even year previous, we had decent numbers, and we should have been given a fishery with the way they were structuring it. And the co-manager said, no, They didn't want to have an impact of significance on the wild fish. And if that's what we're doing out there, if that's the type of fishing practices we're portraying and demonstrating, I really am fearful that co-managers come back to DFW and say, no, you know what? There's too much impact on wild fish. Now, if they could justify it or show numbers or anything, I doubt it.
Right.
But they could at least leverage that against us, and that would not be good.
That'd be very bad.
I mean,
very bad. It's just one more thing for them to put against you, in the long run. Yeah,
and it's a simple deal. I mean, when's the last time you actually used bait for steelhead?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. And you're catching plenty of fish.
Yeah, the same, if not more.
I mean, you have a jig company. You're selling a lot of jigs. You're fishing a lot of jigs.
Yep.
Does the jig guy ever fish beads?
Oh yeah.
Of course you do. It's like you have to, right?
Yeah, you have to. I'm definitely not a guy that sticks to that because I have a jig company. I am a guide and I need to catch fish every day. And every water condition can be different, and throughout the day can be different.
Every day can be different, right? Yeah.
And just 1 hour to the next, the way the light's hitting the water in a given hole, I choose depending on what I see per hole throughout the whole day.
Well, you and I have fished quite a bit together over the years, right? And you do just that. You kind of gauge what's going on throughout the day, water clarity, sunlight. If we're fishing a predominantly long area of shaded, water, and or we're in full sun, and you're not afraid to make those changes. I think complacency is what a lot of guys subject themselves to, and then they end up not finding fish because they're just reluctant to change. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah. So you have a number. Do you know how many different colors of jigs you have?
I have somewhere over 100 SKUs.
100 SKUs? Okay. We're going to break it down the bait lab later on for sure, because there's a lot going on there. So jumping ahead here real quick to the Sportsman Show. Now, you're going to be down at the Sportsman Show at Puyallup Fairgrounds, Washington Sportsman Show. Your booth is where?
I'll be set up at Sportco with a whole display of jigs and some of the new stuff that we're coming out with, and some new logo gear. And repping for Sportco and then jumping around the show a little bit, visiting with people.
Okay. Any seminars for you?
Not this year.
Not doing any seminars?
No.
Okay.
I've been guiding nonstop and
busy.
Yeah,
gotcha. Fish on Northwest will obviously also be down there at the Sportsman Show. We'll have a large booth, 40-foot booth this year. Kind of expanded it out a bit. Nice. Booth number for you folks, 467 through 570. Just remember 570. We're just right there in the same spot we've been the last several years. Bogans will be on the far end of us, and then we got the other 40 feet. A lot going on there. Tons of merchandise for you to come in and get. A whole new line of hats and all kinds of great stuff. I also have 3 seminars I want to make you aware of. Wednesday, January 29th, Steelhead River, 12 p.m. Drift fishing predominantly, and we'll talk a little bobber dogging, but pretty much drift fishing in the Steelhead River. They're bringing it back. Then Thursday, January 30th, the Blue Theater, 3 p.m., Jigging Chinook Area 13. A lot of interest in this one, and I can't wait to have that discussion. And then Sunday, February 2nd, Blue Theater, 12 p.m., early season kokanee on a budget. Certain things you can do to get you down to the kokanee. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. It's pretty effective and efficient way to doing it. Also, Herzog was supposed to be here, as we mentioned early on in the show. He will be spending the entire week down there at the Sportsman Show in the Bogans booth right next to us. Some tells me he's going to be over in my booth quite a bit, sitting and relaxing, drinking coffee as he does. Some mentions for Bogans. They have some stuff going on. They're going to be promoting down there at the Sportsman Show as well. They have their ongoing Steelhead Derby February 21st through March 31st. They also have a show special. You want to see them at the booth and get all the details for their Sportsman Show special package deal they're putting together. And then Herzog's actually guiding over there this year. Did you know? Were you aware of that?
I heard about that. Yep.
He's going to be running guided drift boat trips on the Grand Ronde. Who doesn't want to spend a day in the boat with Bill Herzog? If you take one guided trip this year, well, I'll say 2. You can go fish with Jared, but hey, if you want to check out the Grand Ronde, jump in there with Herzog. He's going to put you through an amazing day over there on the Grand Ronde and out of Bogan. So talk to those folks at the booth down there, Puyallup Show, the Washington Sportsman Show. Come talk to us, buy the swag, and we'll see you there. Jumping out for a quick break. We come back, going to get a little more into this glow tube and tell you what it's all about.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best glass boat your money can buy.
Start your outdoor adventure at SportGo and Outdoor Emporium, 2 locations with the best selection of name brand outdoor gear at affordable warehouse pricing. Over 60,000 different items to fit in your adventure, like Gamakatsu fishing gear, premium grade high carbon steel hooks, Gamakatsu custom designed fillet and boning knives to tackle and storage containers. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Maximize your outdoor adventure with the right gear at SportGo and Outdoor Emporium, Fife and Seattle.
All right, welcome back here in studio. Jared, you fish much blackmouth?
Hardly at all.
Hardly at all. Should
Yeah.
probably get you out on that new boat of mine this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gone to Montana,
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna walk through your schedule here in a little bit
Yeah.
later on in the program. But new novel idea. Talked about it last week, the glow tube by Daniel Roll, and I mean, look at that thing, right? So took some time this week. Wanted to show you guys exactly how efficient, effective this thing can be. So kind of hard to do here in studio live. So we did a little pre-record bait lab segment because we got to turn the lights out, show how well it glows. And going to show you that right now. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the Bait Lab. I want to remind everybody, Bait Lab presentations brought to you by Max Lure. So last week I kind of barely had time. Talked a little bit about the glow tube, creator, inventor, owner of the company, Daniel Roll. You can find these at glowtube.com. Wanted to show you today exactly how much glow it actually imparts on a variety of lures. We got spoons with glow, we have hoochies, we have flashers with glow and glow tape, Brad's Killer mini cup plugs, even jigs. I have some jigs, some of the Grim Reefer jigs that have some glow properties to them as well. Anything that has glow can be enhanced by the glow tube. In there right now is an 11-inch flasher. So for when we're fishing Puget Sound, even Columbia River, running up to an 11-inch flasher will fit inside the tube. So what I want to do is take a minute, charge. I have a number of lures in here. I got spoon. Let's see, I got a spoon in there. I got a flasher. I got some hoochies. We're going to put some light to it. And we're going to pull them out of the tube, show you just how much this glow tube enhances the glow ability on various lures and flashers. So we're going to kill the lights, show you the glow. Here we go. All right, I got the toggle on. I'm just charging this up here for a second. It doesn't take long, and I don't know, 30 seconds. Let's see, I'm going to pull out this. There is a Grim Reefer jig. Pretty good glow on there. Here's a spoon. Yeah, I like that. Now it's all about how long it stays charged, but boy, that thing is really lit up. Let's pull the flasher out of here. That has some serious glow to it. Like what's going on there. And, oh, I got a hoochie in there. That thing is definitely glowing. So, yeah, just about 30 seconds in the tube, and you can see we have quite a bit of glow added to the presentation. Now, how long that will glow down inside the water, it's hard to determine. All right, well, there you go. Plenty of glow. Obviously, the lights within this thing charged up. I mean, they're adding quite a bit of glow to the hoochies, the spoons, the jigs, the flashers. Again, how long each individual item holds glow depends on the quality of glow material that's imparted onto the actual lure or flasher. So looking forward to putting this to work. I got the portable version so that I can put it towards my back workstation on the Allied and have it there. The nice thing is it's completely sealed, water and corrosion resistant. So you can literally take a flasher out of the salt water, stick it in there for 30 seconds, charge it up, drop it right back in. You can put your flasher in there while you're rebaiting your herring or your anchovy or whatever it is you're dragging behind your flasher, and then dump it back overboard and back to work it goes. So lots of options, lots of things will fit inside this size of tube. Again, corrosion resistance. Looking forward to putting this to work. Go to glowtube.com and check out your options. Again, you can get the flush mount, you can get the gimbal mount. I like the portable version. It's going to be on the back deck of the boat as we hit the saltwater in Columbia River. All right, that's going to do it for us here. Again, go to glowtube.com and check them out. Well, there you go. How about that glow?
That's a lot.
That's pretty good. Jordan and I were impressed with that, and this will definitely be on the boat. We're going to start fishing blackmouth right towards the end of February. Then, of course, Area 10, Area 9 should open up March 1st. We got some great opportunity just around the corner, and I'm excited to put this to use and put it to work and grab some video content out there on the water actually utilizing this. And so just to make a mention, also, this will be available at the Washington Sportsman Show, limited amount with Dan Roll in the Fisherman's Gold booth. Check out the Fisherman's Gold booth. Find your glow tube. All three versions of it, as far as I've been led to believe, and or check them out and read up on them at glowtube.com. Jumping out for a quick break. We come back. We'll be in the bait lab with Jared Cady. Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new and best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine is a boat dealer who proudly sells Defiance, Allied, and Arima boats. All boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Defiance Marine has all your boating needs to help you get out on the water.
The Northwest premier upland bird hunting destination. Located along the beautiful Umatilla River in eastern Oregon. Fully guided bird hunts with expert guides and top-notch dogs. Enjoy comfortable accommodations and gourmet meals at the Riverview Lodge. Book your sensational hunting experience with Horseshoe Curve Outdoors.
All right, welcome back here in studio. We're in the Bait Lab, and want to remind everybody, Bait Lab presentations brought to you by Max Lure. And Jared, I got you here today. We're talking jigs.
Yep.
Now, you said going into this, you have like 100 SKUs.
Yeah.
Which is a whole lot of different colors of jigs, color combinations, different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
We have on the table, what, 1/8 and 1/16 ounce here for today?
Yeah, for Steelhead stuff, yeah, we do 2 different sizes.
Okay, so there's a lot of color options that obviously we have. And so I want to talk about current conditions right now. Gin clear water, low and clear, lots of pressure.
Yep.
Let's talk about that in respect to early morning, low light, and let's transition to afternoon, full sun. So let's start with the morning time gin clear. What are some great color option combinations, contrasts that we're looking for to entice steelhead?
So when it's low and clear, I mean, red, just lots of versions of red are great.
Mm-hmm.
When it's low light, I fish a lot of purples. I'll fish red. Like Bloody Mary is a good kind of all around, most low and clear light, unless it's super bright.
Okay.
And I'll fish it a lot when it's really, really bright out. And then some of the darker stuff too. I'll roll the Midnight Rose through there a lot too.
So that looks like a peach and a black combination, right?
Peach and black. Once I've kind of rolled my standard reds, light oranges, peaches, I'll run that stuff.
Okay, so we're starting out in the morning, low clear and low light. Now we're gonna move to full sun, mid afternoon.
Yep.
A little bit of pressure. Maybe we're holding back a bit. Let those boats move on through. Now we got some water that hasn't been disturbed in a while. but it's more about the light on the water at this point, isn't it?
It's very important. How much light, and just from giving the hole to hole. You know, as the river turns, you have shaded holes that stay shaded all day.
Yeah.
And you have holes that get full light almost all day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the time you're there. So you got to think about when you're there and when the light is on that hole throughout the day.
A lot of people, I think, are misguided in they think that bright sunny conditions, gin clear water, you got to go with natural dark patterns. They're talking browns, natural browns and olives and black and things like that. They want to be stealthy in their presentation, but the old adage, especially if you talk to the bass guys, full sun clear water, you know, midday, I'm throwing bright colors.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I throw a lot of bright colors.
You got a lot of bright colors over here on the far right.
So
far right.
These 4 here are pretty much my sunny day stuff. Right now it's a little clear, and we have full sun all day.
Yeah.
So pretty much from about 11 on, it's going to be full sun, maybe even 10 o'clock on.
Yep.
I'm going to throw bright. Before that, I'm dumbing it down, especially when I'm fishing around heavy pressure. Usually first, when you launch, you have lots of pressure, and as you hold back, and then once you get into full sun, I'll switch into my brighter
colors.
Once you guys get out front.
Which is interesting because 2 of these are in combination. They kind of vary, but they're a chartreuse, cerise, and in the opposite is, you know, the black head, the white head.
Yep.
But the color patterns are very similar.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, right? Then you got some. Is that like a fire orange or not really a peach? More of a
it's a flame red.
Okay.
Nightmare, just a standard kind of nightmare version. Everything has flash in it.
You do have flash in pretty much everything,
pretty
right?
Much everything reflects a lot of light, and that has always done really well.
How much UV do you have in
UV and everything?
Everything is UV.
Everything.
All your yarns, all your chenille, everything is UV.
Steelhead see UV.
Yes, they do.
We know this.
Yes, they are very visually stimulated. So we have some 16-ounce jigs, appropriate for a low clear, full sun. These are brighter colors. This little darker pattern with a hot pink head. Was that? Would you use that in the morning?
I'd use that in the morning. Yep, probably.
Higher pressure time, like if they're getting pushed around a lot. Are you going to a smaller presentation, or
it's more? I'm using smaller stuff. It's more about current speed.
That's a good point.
Specifically, the current speed, and when I use a 16-ounce versus the 8th ounce. When they have a longer time to look at it, if I'm approaching a hole and it's a slow, soft tail out with the water being so low, they have a really long time to look at it, at least from the middle of the hole down versus the top of the hole. I'll run, because I switch jigs a lot. I'll run the heavy stuff in the heavier water to about mid hole, and I'll bring it back, switch, or have another rod.
You literally have rods rigged, and you'll be halfway through, and you'll go reel that in and hand it to me, and then you hand them another rod. It may even have the same color on.
Absolutely.
It's just a 16th ounce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's your variant. So over here on my far left, we have this a new pattern.
Brand new pattern. Think about coming out with that for the show. It's just a different variation. A lot of guys seem to love that, like a Kelly green style head on a nightmare. I've seen lots of guys.
That's really what it is. It's a different color head on a nightmare.
Yeah, they're asking for that color specific head.
Interesting.
Mostly for targeting hatchery fish, and a lot of the coast all the way out to Forks. They love like that Kelly green.
Yeah, interesting. So new pattern this year,
and that's going back to a lot of years ago when we drift fished, like say up on the Bogus Shield, we ran Kelly green corkies.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
With red yarn, and it was a bread and butter for a very long time.
Are you a fixed float guy or a sliding float guy with your clients?
Depends.
Well,
it depends.
Sometimes, you know, with a sliding float, person's like overmanned, and they're constantly raising their jig through the float because they just don't understand like how to let it, you know, stay in the seam and float through the area you want it to be in. Yeah. They're actually moving it out of the strike zone. And at times like that, when I fished with buddies in the past, I just pin their floats and go, just fish this.
First thing I take into account is angler experience.
Yeah.
You know, because if I'm fishing a fixed float, I'm running a bait caster. And then we're going to have to cast a longer fixed line with, say, a dink float or something like that.
Yep.
So it takes a more experienced angler to run a bait caster unless I crank down the bearings and stuff. So
for backlash.
For backlash.
Yeah, I get
but there's a clear advantage when running a bait cast on a float from the instantaneous hookup.
Yep.
Now with the water being low and clear, fish are not holding on to the jig very long.
True.
They're picking it up and getting rid
and
of
it. Go.
It's very fast. The little blips, you know, that you might get where you know there should be no blip in that hole. That was you probably got bit.
Probably got wiggled, right? Yeah. And you know, the other nice thing about bait casters is the smooth extension of the drift, just to let it go. Where you've got, you know, guys whipping on the spinning rod, which is, you know, moving that in cadence with their rod movement.
Your float moves, your jig moves.
Yeah,
and
true.
It can move a lot. And
You're right.
It could swing it out in front of your float and depending the water conditions and current speeds. So
yeah. Excellent. Well, you're going to have a ton of jigs down there at the Sportsman Show. People need to come see you at the Sport Co booth and get them dry jigs from Jared Cady. Jumping out for a quick break. More with Jared Cady right after this.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride in Bremerton, Washington. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why Arima boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. Arima can offer every boat with Honda outboard packages so that you can take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Call or stop by Arima Boats today and let them help you get into your very next boat.
You haven't been here, but you know it. You've heard the sounds, smelt the air, and seen where your heart lands, if not yet. You haven't been here, but you've longed for a destination near or far. A place where discovery and history thrive for young eyes and old alike. You haven't been here, but you're on your way to a place not far. ExploreTheDalles.com.
I make my living catching fish, not only as a tournament angler, but as a guide as well. Catching fish is important, and Gamakatsu hooks for me, you know, they kind of help take the luck out of fishing a little bit just because they're a high quality hook. Obviously have a really good reputation for being very strong and very sharp. Gamakatsu, I use their products every day in the boat and, you know, big part of my success.
All right, welcome back. Nicely done there.
Thanks.
Little color display, and you know a thing or two about jigs.
It's important.
Yeah, it's important. You have a jig company, you have a guide company. How long have you been guiding?
20 years.
We actually met when you were deckhanding for a mutual friend of ours, right? On the Cowlitz. You were like this young kid telling me how to fish. I'm like, get away from me.
Trying to learn how to run a jet boat.
Yeah, you were good. It was a good time, and we've been friends ever since, and we fished a handful of times together. You've been on the show a number of times. We've created some great content, had some great coho fishing, had some great steelhead fishing historically, and we talk about it from time to time. Being a guide, a productive guide, like you got a baby on the way.
I do. Yeah,
like providing for your family on a guide's income is no easy task.
Not easy at all.
So let's talk a little bit about what it takes to be successful today. You can't just focus in on, you know, winter on steelhead, summer on steelhead and think you're going to make your way. So you do a number of fisheries throughout the year, but not just here in Washington. You were like on the move, right?
Jumping around a bit.
Kind of break it down, just roll through season real quick, like even break it down quarterly. Through the season, where you are and what fishery you're actually doing now.
We'll start right now. Now I'm going to run steelhead all the way March 31st.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll be all over the OP from Grays Harbor to Forks.
Okay.
Chasing wildfish after that. And then I'll roll over to Oregon. I'm going to be running a boat on the Willamette, and I'll be chasing springers.
Which we did with you last year.
About 20 days of that.
Yep.
You know, just during the prime time heat of it.
Yeah.
Come home for a few days. And then because I'll have a newborn, my wife will be on maternity leave. We're taking off for Montana a little bit earlier.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I'm going to be heading to Montana, West Yellowstone, where I guide fly fishing all summer. That's going to run from mid-May all the way to really about late August, last of August, because then I elk hunt.
Kind of roll into a little elk hunt time, but you're already there.
Whole month.
Are you exclusively on the Henry's Fork over there?
So Henry's Fork, Madison, all of Yellowstone Park.
Right. Okay.
So 2.2 million acres inside that park.
I think it's been 4 years maybe when Jordan and I came in, and we had an amazing time and made some epic footage for the show. Those top water takes on those float. I mean,
you hit it just right.
We should probably try to redo that one again. It was fantastic. So you're over there, and then you get through elk season.
Yep.
And then fall time rolls around.
Yeah, then I'm back. I get 1 week off right after elk season. And then we're back into Grays Harbor, coho. I'll run coho all the way through November and December, depending on if they give us that fall season. So
That's an interesting segue because, you know, being a guide today in the Northwest, exclusively here in Washington, for example, you're at the whim of season setting process.
Yep.
And I know we talk often as the seasons are rolling together, like what they say, what are they giving us? Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. You are, you know, you need to know if you're able to book trips, what your season's going to look like. You know, you're going to be able to get out there and make some money. You kind of have your eyes down there in Texas a little bit too.
Yeah, so I bought a boat. I've been running in Texas a few years now, and that was all because the uncertainty of our December, January hatchery run, 2 to 3 month period before Wild Steelhead, and even with Wild Steelhead was on the plate there
for sure.
too.
Yeah.
So looking as a backup plan to be able to continue to earn and fish. I just want to fish.
Yeah, I just want to fish and get paid to do so. Texas redfish.
Yep, Texas all redfish, black drum.
Awesome.
Sea trout.
Yeah, but this year you're able to stay home.
Yep.
Which the timing was great. Glad they gave us the fisheries back. You get to stay home.
Yep.
You and Lindsay got a baby on the way, so it's a great time for you to be here.
Makes sense.
Still enjoy it?
Yeah.
The guiding?
Yep.
Still enjoy it?
Love it.
Out there running your own business, right? Clientele. Anything get frustrated? What frustrates you as a guide?
Oh, what frustrates me as a
guide?
guy?
The number one thing. What's your biggest frustration? There's got to be something like, oh my God.
Being late.
Yeah, there's that.
Don't be late.
Especially if we're talking about how busy the rivers have been.
Yeah.
As of lately, it's like your clients show up late. You're just probably grinding your teeth.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Should have been on the water an hour ago.
Yeah.
Does it happen often?
Yeah, not too often. I give it that buffer. The meeting time is with you probably going to be late.
That's a good plan.
To make sure that you're there before you could be late.
Yeah. What to do when folks cannot cast? Run plugs?
I mean, I have a lot of older clients who've been guiding long enough, but I have a lot of clients that simply cannot cast.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys in their 70s, late 70s that have, you know, disabilities, can't stay on the boat very long.
Yeah.
You know, can't be, you know, cast again. But then, so we'll take lots of breaks, you know, let them cast a little bit. Everyone wants to cast. So everyone wants to be able to make that cast and that fish.
There's just more enjoyment. You feel engaged.
Yeah.
Right. You're doing something throughout the day instead of sitting there watching, waiting for a rod to go off. Though, good day of plug fishing can be pretty darn exciting.
Yeah. And you have those days that it's like, man, just every hole you put it in, they keep going down.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a short.
Your biggest steelhead, personal best?
Swung on a fly.
This I know.
On the hoe.
This I know as well.
26 pounder.
26 pounder on the fly.
Yeah.
Which is impressive to say the least. I mean, and that fish would be amazing on anything. The fact you got it swinging was like, you sent me the picture the day you got it.
On the busiest day.
I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yeah, you were walking on cloud 9 that day, my friend.
Yeah.
So, all right, Steelhead trips on through till the end of March when the OP will close.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, excellent. There you go. A day in the life of a natural fishing guide.
You keep moving.
You can have it. All right, jumping out for a break. We come back. Hey, want to show you a little something we put together. Did a recent install of the Burnewiin system on the Allied Mustang, the brand new boat. And this is a rod holder system and anchor in base system for my downriggers. It's really a well-engineered system. I want to show you how simple it is. You can DIY this yourself. Burnewiin install right after the break.
You haven't been here, but you know it. You've heard the sounds, smelt the air, and seen where your heart lands, if not yet. You haven't been here, but you've longed for a destination near or far, where the young and old find rest and excitement, not apart. You haven't been here, but you're on your way to a place not far. ExploreTheDalles.com.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated, so so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best glass boat your money can buy.
You found it.
I did. Yeah,
Tom Anderson, nice to see you, man.
Good to see you too, Dwayne.
Yeah, hey guys, Dwayne England Fish Hunt Northwest. We are here in the Allied HT. It's the Mustang, the hardtop, the brand new 2025 model. And it's here in the driveway, and you and I have been talking, and heck, we even had dinner down in Owako.
That's right.
Started kind of mapping this out on a napkin, and the day is here. You were heading north, said, hey, I'm gonna swing by your place.
Just happened to be driving by.
And you're bringing the components, and we're gonna install the Burnewiin, and we're gonna show you exactly a DIY, how you can do this yourself, because it is just that simple. Albeit we got to drill some holes in my boat.
Yeah, once you get started, you'll have fun drilling holes in your boat.
We're gonna drill holes in the boat. You're gonna install this stuff, and we're gonna show you how this system works and why I'm switching to this moving forward. You guys are gonna love this. We got work to do. Let's get going.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay, Tom, we're starting with the downrigger plates, and these are pre-drilled, obviously, for Scotty base plates, right? Yeah. But we're not even going to use those. You put tape on here. We're finding center, but you also got in the kit comes the
That's right. So I like to put these mounts dead center on these plates.
Okay.
So sometimes what I'll do is put some painter's tape there, just do some diagonals and find center.
Okay.
The mounts also all come with a nice mounting guide that gives you some instructions.
Right.
Also a template, right?
The template, that's what I was looking for.
So that template, you can actually put right down on the piece, do some measurements, verify it, tape it in place, and use it for your holes.
Okay.
So we'll do that right now because that's what a lot of sort of customers might do, right? What do they say? Measure twice, drill once.
Drill once.
So 3 inches, 3 inches.
Yep.
It's a little bit open-ended here because of this curvature, but if you run the numbers, it's 3 1/4. So we're 3 1/4 to center.
Gotcha.
And that's not as critical as matching up this to this, right? So they're both the same.
Gotcha. So whatever you start with here, you want to duplicate here, and then obviously
that's what I would do
on the other side.
And there are situations where you might want to get these spacings in alignment so you could run one of our tables in there or something. But now's the time to make it right?
Yeah, for sure. You do it once.
With a few extra minutes. So we can do the same thing on that
ready
side
to drill,
eventually.
or are you going to measure?
That's ready to drill.
Oh boy.
You want to do the honors?
Go ahead.
So, and there's a little bit of leeway here.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might want a center punch, but the center hole has a little bit of clearance to it.
Okay,
so
and that's a 2 1/4.
It's a 2 1/4.
Okay.
And it says it in the diagram.
Yeah.
You could go through and just drill a 1/4 inch. Most hole saws, all you need is just a regular hardware store. These are Milwaukee's bimetal.
Yep.
Most of them have a 1/4 inch center drill.
Sure.
So you could go and do a 1/4 inch drill on these locations, right?
Yep.
What I do though is I might just spot that in the center.
Yeah.
Mark it essentially.
Okay.
Do that on all 4. Now this, for the mounting bolts, I'm gonna just drill out with a smaller pilot bit just to get marked. Okay. Really, that's all we need the template for.
Look at you.
There'll be plenty more where that can.
Oh, I can imagine. We got a ton. Yeah.
Just put that there. People ask about stainless and aluminum, right?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Stainless and aluminum basically create a cathode and anode, right? So people will call it dissimilar metals or whatever.
Right.
So it's more of an issue in saltwater, but it still is an issue.
Yeah.
And you want to isolate the two. So if you look around most aluminum boats, people will talk about it that know about it, but then a lot of times, I mean, you'll find hundreds of stainless steel fasteners and screws screwed into an aluminum boat, right?
Yep.
There's just really not much way around it.
Yeah.
The right way to do it is to put like a product like Tef gel on there.
Mm-hmm.
The Tef gel will isolate the two from each other.
Gotcha.
What we do, and this was kind of part of the whole plan, was we manufacture these, we call them isolation gaskets, and we make these specifically for aluminum boats.
That's what that was for, okay.
Yeah, and what we do is we sell these in pairs. The reason is so that you can have one on the bottom and one on the top.
Okay.
The bottom will keep the nuts and washers, which are stainless, off the aluminum.
Gotcha.
The top keeps the mount and the everything off the
Screws
aluminum.
off the aluminum, yeah.
The way we build these too, you look those little, we call them nibs or nubs, stick out. So it goes through the bolt hole.
Yeah.
So the reason that's important is that then also keeps the through bolt fastener away from the aluminum.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So those go in there. This one from the bottom goes in, so now none of the stainless touches the aluminum.
That's really smart. Makes sense.
Yeah, so the way so this just, if you look at that sits, the other thing is the way we do our mounts, I always install them with the latch to the left, operator left.
Okay.
It's easy. You don't have to do that. You can install them any way you want. I've seen people install them here, there, whatever. The reason I do that is you're always working with your same hand all the way around the boat.
Right.
So here it's forward.
Okay.
And some people, say, oh, you got to put it forward on the starboard and back on the port. But if you just remember, same operating hand.
Yeah.
If I were left-handed and I owned the boat, I'd probably put the latch over here.
Right, yeah.
Because what happens is you naturally will grab a rod holder or downrigger with whatever your dominant hand is.
Yep.
And you can run it like that. It doesn't really matter.
It makes sense to me.
The Northwest premier upland bird hunting destination. Located along the beautiful Umatilla River in eastern Oregon. Fully guided bird hunts with expert guides and top-notch dogs. Enjoy comfortable accommodations and gourmet meals at the Riverview Lodge. Book your sensational hunting experience with Horseshoe Curve Outdoors.
Start your outdoor adventure at SportGo and Outdoor Emporium, 2 locations with the best selection of name brand outdoor gear at affordable warehouse pricing. Over 60,000 different items to fit in your adventure, like Gamakatsu fishing gear, premium grade high carbon steel hooks, Gamakatsu custom designed fillet and boning knives to tackle and storage containers. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Maximize your outdoor adventure with the right gear at SportGo and Outdoor Emporium, Fife and Seattle.
Yeah.
Is that click, 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 moving stuff around?
Yep. It can be good.
So
look at that.
Our base, what we do, this plate accepts the Scotty.
Is that aluminum?
That's aluminum.
Okay.
It's all type 3 hard anodized, so you get a separation between that and that.
Yeah, right.
And when we machine this, we put in these 4 holes.
Okay.
So the way I run my Scotty downriggers, I leave their swivel base off. The swivel base, which is this, adds quite a bit of height and just, you know, stuff, right?
It does.
So I leave mine off, and then
Okay.
what you do is the Scotties all have this, what's called this flip-up base.
Yep.
They call it, it's the, I think they call it a flip-up base.
Yeah.
And that's what gives you, one of the things I like about the Scotties is you, when you're fishing, you can raise it up, right? Bring the ball to you,
Yes.
drop it back down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now,
Personal preference.
the cool thing is you can come out now and just, when you want to use your downrigger, it snaps in, and you're rolling,
There you
right?
go.
And in your case, you still have your swivel base on,
This is
so wherever
over
your knob
here,
is.
so you can go to the back.
That's correct.
Just like that.
When you're done, you can either leave it like this, but the Scotties are kind of nice because you can go like this. So you can just grab it.
Out you go.
Super easy. So this is an excellent spot for a halibut rod holder.
Yeah.
Like this, you pop this in at a 45 back. Now you've got a rod there and then one
Sure.
forward going that way.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Same functionality.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
So
Outstanding.
that's
Okay.
the downrigger, and then essentially,
And you
we've
got these modular cleats.
Yeah, so your cleats with your fenders.
Yep.
The cleats come in pairs. In there's a little diagram on how to run your line.
Oh, yeah.
So you can quickly adjust the height.
Sure.
But the beauty is you get to the dock, people don't have to tie it on anything. They can just snap it right in any available mount. We'll put one up there for you.
Yeah, because I'm going to have a midship bed. Versatile for a rod holder, and I'm going to use it as a midship cleat.
Yep.
Because we didn't install one here, so that'll make up for it for sure.
So essentially then we've got the quick release, the spinning rod holder, the casting rod holder.
Yeah.
They all have this same functionality.
Yep.
Right?
Vertical.
I sometimes use that as just a net holder.
Yeah.
One of my nets, I dedicated one of these to that. I actually cut this off to make it shorter.
Just for a net holder?
Just for the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, of course, we've got a few different knives. I think we showed you the short knife in and out of the same mount.
Yep.
It's actually a great spot right there once you have those.
Yeah.
Cutting bait or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Those will be very handy.
And then you're getting one of the fillet knives too, which I always have that shorty knife on board just for utility.
Yeah.
But this is a nice 7-inch fillet knife that has the same functionality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, real nice. Well engineered for sure. So
there you go. That's the system.
Yeah, it's quite the system. Well, we got more install to do before we get run out of daylight here.
Yes.
More holes to drill.
About an hour.
Here we go. Okay. All right, well, there we go. Installation complete. Want to thank Tom Anderson, owner at Burnewiin, for coming by yesterday. Although it was a late afternoon and we got started, got a couple hours in before it got dark. I came out today, finished a couple final installs on my back workstation, and now the entire system is complete. Outfitted with Burnewiin. Really excited to have this on the boat and moving forward to put it to work out there on the water. I'm going to show you a quick walkthrough on how it finished out. Well, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. A quick look at the final product. Really happy with how it all turned out. Again, can't wait to put it to use. Check out the entire system. Burnewiin.com. That's Burnewiin. 3 syllables. Burnewiin.com. Check them out.
Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
You haven't been here, but you know it. You've heard the sounds, smelt the air, and seen where your heart lands, if not yet. You haven't been here, but you've longed for a destination near or far. A place where discovery and history thrive for young eyes and old alike. You haven't been here, but you're on your way to a place not far. ExploreTheDalles.com.
All right, well, there we go. What'd you think of that little install project?
That's a big, nice. They look really good.
The system is amazing. It's a plug and play. It's all modular. You know, I can move stuff around. And I'm trying to remember if I mentioned it in the actual video there, but like the forward base that we put in right next to the cabin is very versatile. Look, when I'm running the side planer program on some of the reservoirs on the east side, or even we planning, we'll see. We're going to try to get the boat to Wyoming again this summer. Go after those big kokanee in the reservoir in Flaming Gorge. But that forward one, not just a versatile rod holder, but I can pop a composite cleat in there and use that for mooring as well. Very, very versatile.
Looks really clean too.
Yeah,
really.
And the ease of moving the downriggers in and out. Like if we're somewhere and I want to lock them into the cabin, to flip, slide the lever, slide it right out of there like Tom showed us, and then just pop them in the cabin for storage. Fantastic. No longer do I have to unscrew the 4 base locations on that. So it's very, very functional, very versatile, easy to install. And the boat is going to be on display at the Sportsman Show for the entire week. Make sure you stop by the Defiance Marine Allied booth. Take a walkthrough, man. Check that boat out. Take a look at it. Come to the booth. Talk to me about it if you're interested. And pretty excited to have that down there so people can take a look. It's a beautiful boat. Beautiful boat. Then I got to get it on the water, actually start doing some fishing.
Yeah.
But the blackmouth opportunity should start, like I said, towards the end of February here. And then we're going to be all over it in March. And, you're far too busy guiding all the time to even take time to enjoy.
I have no days off.
Yeah. In the summer, you're just going to be far too busy. You're going to have a newborn. And the Puget Sound fisheries this year should be pretty substantial. It's a humpy year. Right? We're going to have pinks coming back. We're going to have lots of coho, lots of Chinook. Looking forward to what seasons we're going to get there in Puget Sound to be up there running the boat and, pushing the likes of Ainsworth and Matt Missing off the water. Keep them out of my area. That's how this works. So looking forward to all that. Want to remind everybody again, seminars down there at the Sportsman Show. Go to our social media platforms or look under the Sportsman Show's webpage. And you can find all the seminar dates and locations, which theater we're in and when. I'm excited to bring drift fishing back to the Steelhead River and, of course, the jigging Chinook in Area 13. That's going to be a lot of fun. Figure there's probably going to be a lot of questions there, and rightfully so. It is and can be very productive. Looking forward to getting back out on the water, jigging some Chinook this season as well. And other than that, you're going to have plenty of jigs to sell down there at the show?
Yep, it's going to be pretty busy.
Gonna be pretty busy.
Gonna be pretty busy.
Are you the only person in your booth the entire time?
The entire time.
You don't get a break?
I mean, once in a while.
You'll walk away from it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to go see the sights or do anything, right? You're just there strictly business.
All business.
All business all the time. Well, hey, want to thank you, buddy, for coming in.
Yeah.
Everybody, once again, Jared, Cady, Get 'em Dry Fishing Company. Look them up online. You got a webpage.
Yep, getemdry.com.
Getemdry.com, Facebook, social media platforms. You're going to find him. Get a hold of him. Book a trip. He's got a lot of different fisheries going on, and he's going to treat you to a spectacular day. So going to do it for us. Going to see you this next week. We'll be down at the Sportsman Show. No live show from the studio. We'll be busy in Puyallup at the Washington Sportsman Show. So weather is fantastic. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Get out and get something done. We'll see you next week.